books delivered to their dorm. Like I was like the guy, like 2 months after I got the class, did I get the book? Like I was a test and a quiz and like all the kinds behind. Before I even got my book, so I was like, why don't we just deliver the books to the people? Because wouldn't that make tons of sense? They hated it. Like they absolutely hated it. I don't know. I think it was Jim Martin was the guy that actually, he was like, this is the dumb. I'm like, what? So I deliver pizza now. So I guess that goes over a lot better. But guys, thank you so much for having me. This is on, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I guess I just like to hear myself loud. So anyways, thank you guys for coming in. When Dr. Pete, thank you. I guess I could go down the line too. Dr. Bolton had both of them in class. There's your Spiller. I don't know where Spiller is, but yeah, I think he was here at some point. But anyways, I had him in class. So I don't know exactly what role he played in all this, but love him to death. And then I got to know Miss Potter because her son worked for me. And I guess that's probably one step. Well, you probably know someone a lot better employing their kid than probably meeting them. So he was awesome, and I loved having him at the restaurant. So thank you guys for having me. So when she told me the name of this presentation, I had to crack up, honestly. But like today, like the social media world and so words, they have a lot of impact, right, on how we think and what we do. So when she told me the name of the presentation was Rolling in the Dough, I had to stop for a minute. I was like, what? I got money? I'm thinking to myself, like, you know what? I do have money. But I had to go, like, just check my bank account. That's really what I did. I was like, this is crazy. She told me the thing is Rolling in the Dough, and that's probably going to get people here. They're probably going to think they got boatloads of money. And so honestly, I just went and checked my checking account. That was what was in it. So for you guys to think that this whole business thing, this entrepreneurship thing, you're going to be rolling in the dough, from a literal standpoint. I guess I am, but figuratively speaking, that was my checking account. When she sent me the name of this. So for the sake of the presentation, to help you guys, so we're all on an even playing field, I'm not sitting up here lying to you guys about how much dough I have, because I have none. That seemed like a lot better of a name for it, just because, that makes it a lot more sense. So rolling in the cornmeal probably wouldn't have got many people here, but that's more applicable to what my life's like these days. So a little bit, oh shoot, okay, sorry, I got this story. And I gotta get it out because it's not gonna be that funny, because the more I keep telling it to people, they don't really think it's funny. So this happened literally 2 nights ago. So it was like Friday or Saturday night, Nick, I don't know. I don't think he worked. He doesn't work weekends, but I don't know how he got that. But he doesn't work. So I had a driver call out. And so when you own the dang business, you just become whatever you need to be that day. And so I was a delivery driver on, I think it was Saturday night, and it was about 11:30. And so I'm delivering a pizza to the hospital, and I'm taking it, and I had to go up to the site floor, which is just crazy in itself. And so I'm up there, and I feel like I'm just like I didn't know what to do because I didn't see anybody, and I just see like a bunch of bolted doors, and I see signs pointing me where I need to go. And I'm going, oh my gosh, where did I go? This is so far off the point of the story. But anyways, I'm in the psych section, I go there, I press the button, I've got my little pizza, I give it to him. I jump in the elevator, I go down, you gotta get on another elevator. So I jump on this other elevator, and I can't make this up. There's a Pizza Hut delivery driver right there, and a Domino's Pizza Hut delivery driver right there. And I'm looking at these dudes, and they're like hating their lives, and I'm sitting here, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. Like what? Like we've got, and I don't know what, qualifies for a selfie nowadays, but I was like, I'm definitely getting one. So I had to go quick, because you're in the elevator, right? So you're coming down the elevator, and this is about to happen really, really fast. So I was like, and I just went like this, and dude just backhanded me right here, and I'm going, what just happened? I can't make this up. This is me in the picture. Dude is about to backhand. He literally hits me. And I'm going, who hates their job this much? Like, I'm literally just trying, and you see my eyes, I'm not looking at the camera, because I see my peripheral backhand coming from my face. And I'm going, what the heck is going on? And then they start talking about me. They're like right in front of me, and I'm walking out of this elevator, and I'm like walking, and they're just chilling right here. And they're like, dude, this little like millennial whippersnapper. I'm like, dude, I'm like right here. Like now they're on PowerPoint. So if any of you guys get these, when you get your pizzas delivered, please let them know. They're like, it's not okay. And Anyway, so a little bit about myself. Born and raised here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I went to a private Christian school, 1st through 8th grade, and then I jumped into public school. If anyone's familiar with the area, I went to Warren Central for 2 years, So as you can imagine, the jump between a private Christian school and Warren Central High School was a big jump. A lot of you guys have no idea what it is, but Warren Central's on, the basketball side of town, because that's what I did. I played basketball. So I went to the school that had the best chance for me to develop my skills as a basketball player. That's what I was. So I went to Warren Central for 2 years. Ended up shattering my ankle my sophomore year, or I guess my junior year. Went down to IMG Academy to rehab. Stayed there and finished up my high school career at IMG Academy in Florida my senior year, to where then I came back and walked on and played basketball here for 3 years. That's kind of my story in a nutshell. I come from a family of 5. I got 3 brothers and a sister. I got 1 brother that's up in Nantucket right now, played baseball here. So you guys may know Seton. I'm sorry. But he's up and he's literally a man, y'all. Like, I'm so proud of him. It's the coolest gig ever. I wish I would have got it, so I'm not trying to denigrate what he's doing right now. But they give him a car, they've got a house, and he's up there. They pay him hourly, and he's walking dogs and keeping kids, and he's in Nantucket. So, I can't, that's where he's doing. And then I got another brother. I graduated law school. He lives in the Virgin Islands. He actually just got diagnosed with Lyme's disease, so he hasn't even taken the bar yet. But his wife's an attorney, and she is kind of knocking it out for them as he kind of goes through this crazy transition. So I got 1 brother in the Virgin Islands, 1 in Nantucket. I'm slinging pizza. I have no idea how I got this gig. I don't know what I'm doing or why I'm here, but hopefully we can kind of get to that together. Now I have another brother that's a pharmacist here in town that runs one of the pharmacies, and a little sister that's playing tennis at Belmont. So I got them. They're all everywhere, and I'm just the pizza boy. So that's a little bit about myself. But to kind of dive into business now, right? So here we are, business entrepreneurship, and you guys really want to hear, I guess, for me, there's a little bit more of a pressure on me when I come and speak to a group like you guys, because you guys aren't looking at some 40, 50-year-old guy that's made it. Like, I'm so far from that. I'm your peer, like, honestly. And so I think there's a lot of pressure for me to relate, to really, like, dude, you gotta relate to me. You're my age, right? And that's the unadded pressure that I had a lot of trouble when doing this. When I came and spoke last time, it was family business. So even though that I've only been in family business for a year, I was front row seat to a family business for the first 24 years, and watching my mom and dad open up their family business, or their business as a whole, as a family. So I was pretty confident walking in here last time I was here, but my journey obviously is going to look like totally different from anyone else's. So that allowed me to kind of breathe and just kind of give you my take on where I'm at today, with my struggles today, and what would I tell myself if I was sitting there a year ago. And so the number one thing that I took from just my upbringing and being an athlete, especially here at Western and being a walk-on, was I had to find other reasons to play that game that was my passion. Basketball was my passion. Then playing time, for the applause, for the stage. I had to find other reasons to stick in that locker room 2.5 years. And it was just, and I think that's a big part of being an entrepreneur, because it can't be about, and how many times have you heard this, why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Because I want to make my own schedule, and I don't want to be my own boss, and I want the big car and a big house. And I'm telling you, if it's that surface level for you, you're never going to make it. Because when I'm staring at my mop bucket at 3 a.m., I don't care about no dang Maserati, I promise you. It's not worth it. I would rather be working at 9 to 5 and making double what I'm paying myself now, and getting really weird on the weekends. Like, that's the reality of it all. But that's not the life we chose. And that's why we're here, because we want to figure this thing out, and how do we move forward. So I chose to play for the respect of my athletes and the people that knew me the most. To my teammates, I chose to play for the respect of them. That's all I wanted. And I think for you as entrepreneurs, or anyone trying to develop their own business, work for the respect for the people that know you the best. And I think, as you guys are going to see, that I'm going to want you to define success, and that's my definition for myself. I just want to be successful with the people that know me the best. Because if it's about the hoopla and it's about opening up your own business and wanting, you're never going to make it. It's not worth it, y'all. It's not worth it for so-and-so down to 50 states over to think swell of you. It's not. It's about your mom, your dad. A lot of people ask me, how's it working for you? I think it's a great question, but I think a better question is, how's it working for those that are closest to you? How's your life working for them? And I think that tells you a lot about who you are as an entrepreneur and what you want to be. So I know I'm already way behind. So where do you guys come in? If I'm sitting in your seat right now, what would and the good news is, Dr. Peak, she nailed it, was I had no idea what I was doing. I never mentioned restaurants, much less pizza. Like I never even mentioned anything when I was sitting in their classes my senior year. I had no idea what I was going to do. So you have a ton of hope. You don't have to know what you got to do. But where do you start? I think you start here. You define what you think is successful. What is successful in your eyes? I promise you it's totally different. And what's success is that? How are you trying to live? Within what means are you trying to live? Do you want 3 houses or do you want 1? Do you just want to provide for a family? Or do you want to provide for the whole family? Do you want to, how does this work for you? What does success look like for you? For me, it's respect for those that I love most. And my mom helped me out with this, but I think that's so true. I think that if I had, of who I want to be in the future, I just want to be the most humblest form of future Spence. That's all I'm working towards. That's my definition of success. Just be a guy that people wants to be around. And bring a lot of people with me. And why you want to be successful. And I just kind of alluded to my why. Your why is the only thing that's going to keep you working as hard as you need to work for the first 3 years of your business. 100%, no question. Because you don't have a pot to be in. You're the last person that's getting paid. And anybody that started a business or understands business knows that. Like you aren't seeing anyway. If you want to pay back the initial debt the quickest possible way, you're paying yourself the bare minimum just so every penny that you make out of the business, you can pay back to the debt. For my sake, I can go through this whole piece, and I probably need to, as to how I got started with my father. But for me, for me, my why was I just wanted to take people with me. I wanted to give people a life that they never saw coming. And that's when, your whys, you just got to understand your why. Why are you willing to set yourself apart? Why are you willing to work harder than the next guy? When most people, for that 1, 2, 3 year mark, because if it's about the surface level, I want to be my own boss. I want to create my own schedule. I want to make $1 million. I want to do that. That doesn't happen the first 4 years. It doesn't. I'm such a slave to my workers. It's not even funny. If they don't show up, I have to show up. There ain't no creating a schedule to it. That I have to be there 90% of the time, point blank. So if it's about making money in the big house and the big car, you're never going to make it. Why do you want to work? Do you want to provide for grandma that's struggling? Do you want to provide for, I don't know, do you want to build a school in Uganda? Do you want to figure out your why, because that's what's going to drive you the most. And so identify, and then so you figure out what's your definition of success, why you want to be successful. So find out what you get. Where do I start, Spence? Okay, so I want to be successful. Well, what's something you're good at? For me, I use this analogy of the ponies. Like when I graduated college, I had a lot of ponies in my ranks. A lot. I was an athlete. I loved the music scene. Played, wrote music as much as I could. Even moved to Nashville. Did that whole thing. But I had a father that was very prominent in this town, in the business community. So it was identify your fast pony. What are you good at? For me, it was just people. I just wanted to love people. So that really didn't hone down a lot, right? I can do that anywhere. I'm doing it now. I can do it. I can just walk across the street to my neighbor and love him. But so what was I going to do? What was going to get me to where I wanted to go the fastest? What is my fast pony? What am I good at today? It's not necessarily where you want to be 5, 10 years from now. It's not necessarily, but what's going to get me to where I want to go today? Where do I start with? And start with the business model. And just start. And that's the biggest thing too, because some of us would just want to do it, and I was a victim to this until I started my own business and understood that after a year and a half of this, I'm a lot farther ahead than my friends that were looking for something they love, that they had a really true passion for. And that was me, honestly, y'all. Like, I was wanting to do the whole millennial thing, like, let's just travel until we find something that we really love and we're going to make tons of money doing it. No, it's not how this thing works. I wish it did. I really, really wish it did, and to each his own. But that's not how this thing, you have to start. You have to start. It's not going to be the job that you love. It's not going to be the boss that you like. And if you're so fortunate to get that job, I'll be darned if you don't work your tail off. That's not how it was for me. But it was one of those things where you just got to start. Because let me tell you what you don't know, that you need to know, is that there ain't no going to a bank anymore. You're not going to the bank and borrow money. You can't buy credit. So what you're going to have to do is find somebody that's willing to invest in you. Right? And that investment now is getting higher and higher and higher, because what any good investor knows is they've got to at least loan you enough capital to get you 2, 3 years. They're not looking to get any money out of it for 3 years. So somebody's got to pay the bills. So you come to me and you say, hey, Spence, man, I got this business idea. What have you been doing the last 3 years? Well, I've been setting up umbrellas investment. Well, okay. Got anything else for me? Well, I was going to been working at this law firm. Okay. How long did you work there for? About 3 weeks. What happened? Well, I wanted to tell you. Well, okay. Do you think they're going to loan you $300,000 or $500,000, whatever it takes? Anything? People are like, well, where do I start? You start. You start making a name for yourself. That's why I crack up when people come to me now and they go, so what about this college education thing? Like, you think it's worth it? I'm going to go, that's a great place to start. You're going into an investment. I finished 4 years of college. I think that's a great place to start. There's nothing wrong with not going to college. But I just think, you want to know where to start? Let's get a 4-year degree. Let's do that. Let's show an employer or an investor, if you're willing to open up your own business, that I finished 4 years of college. And then let's go to work. Well, I've got 4 years, and maybe I was a receptionist at a law firm, but I'll be darned, I was the best dang receptionist they've ever had. I never missed a day of work, and I worked my tail off. Oh yeah, I was at Five Guys flipping burgers, but you know what? I never missed a day of work, and I was the best line cook that they ever had. And you could call them tomorrow, they can't wait. And if they had the money, they would invest themselves, but they don't. And I think that's where we got to get home. You just got to start. We get so caught up, and I said this last time, we get so caught up in all the meal prep that we forget to just work out. Just show up. Show up and work hard. And work harder than the guy next to you, because I promise that's when the other doors start to open. And then you start seeing in the future, and you start really realizing that thing that you love, that passion that you got, you're creating opportunity for yourself because you got money in the bank. You got money in the bank so you can go do that thing that you love, that you want to do. Now, if some of you are gifted, straight up, Nick Lawson, gifted. Dude can play music like crazy. And so for him, it's like, yeah, dude, pursue. It's probably not going to pay the bill, but dude, you've got a gift. You know what I mean? And so this doesn't apply for everyone, but if you're in the business of entrepreneurship and wanting to open up your own business, this is a great place to start. So this is like a few points that I would just kind of, where I'm at today. You know, when we talked about my journey, I guess as an entrepreneur, I could have talked about everything. I guess that was kind of the nervous kind of breakdown I had thinking about what I want to talk about. There's so much. There's so much I went through. But where I'm at today is the thing that's going to most resonate with you guys, and it's going to resonate with me the most. And I think this is probably one of the biggest things that I would tell myself when I'm sitting in your shoes. I was a doer. I wasn't much of a thinker in college. I was just, I wish Spiller was here because I'd tell you guys the story, but Spiller literally, I had a question about my report card. It's like, Spiller, man, I showed the class, I did really well. So, why is this my grade? And he literally sent me an email back and said, if you would have just studied more instead of relying on your ability to BS, then you would have had a better grade in my class. And that's what I did. Honestly, my teachers, obviously I did what I had to get by, but a lot of it was just BS. And so when I got into business, real world application, was really hard. My dad would tell you, he feels like he's looking at a dummy most days, is to look at a financial statement and go, okay, dude, this is where, if this number gets bigger, this one gets smaller, and this one, and a lot of them, okay, Dad, I have to say that again to it. But as far as working, he's got the hardest worker in bowling as far as I'm concerned. I could work my tail off better than any of them. But dude, you've got to be able to work, you've got to be able to think. And so for me, I worked really hard this past year. And if you would have told me when I started that I would be exactly where I was today, that I was 518 days ago when we opened up, I would have said you were crazy. But guess what? I am. 100%. I can't leave the restaurant today because I worked really hard. I was a glorified associate. I can make the fastest pizza in the restaurant. I can make the fastest sub. I'm the nicest guy in the restaurant. I can cut the pizzas the fastest than anybody in the restaurant. I can answer the phone like a freaking pro. You guys have no idea. They've already tipped. When they call in, they have already tipped if I'm answering the phone. I crush it. But guys, I didn't put any systems in place. The franchise trial when they were there, we opened up for about 2 or 3 weeks, but no systems in place. So when I leave the store, all hell breaks loose. This is just whatever. It's amazing that pizzas land on tables, and I tell everyone that because I worked really, really hard this past year. I'm telling you guys, took 17 days off, 4,000 hours, knocked it out. But I did not work very smart, not at all. And so know what you're doing when you're there. Now this isn't an excuse to not work hard. Don't get it twisted. You still got to work hard. So some people would say, don't work 60 hours a week, work 40 hours a week, and just know what you're doing while you're in there. Make it worthwhile. And I'm going, no. You work 60 hours a week. That doesn't change. But make sure when you're in the store, I'll be darned if you're not there for a purpose and you're not training appropriate. You're not showing how things should be done. And that's in any business. If you're going to work and put in 60 hours, 80 hours a week, at least make it to where a year or two from down the line, you can remove yourself from it and have people in place. That's just the way a good entrepreneur should do it, instead of running himself ragged like I have the last year. You're the best associate. Are you kidding me? Like, dude, if I'm in the store, the place is running great. I mean, I'm not perfect. I've jacked up a lot of stuff, but you know what I mean? You've just got to be able to work hard. So that's a good one. I don't know when I decided this. I'm not really sure why I decided this, but I came out in my 20s, y'all. I just said, you know what? If I wanted to set myself apart and I wanted to be different than everyone else, if I wanted to be 26 talking to other 26-year-olds, then I'm going to do things different. I came out in my 20s. I just said, listen, I had a lot of fun 20 to 24. Alyssa will tell you. We broke up because of it. Like, those 4 years were rough. You know what I mean? I had a lot of fun. But at that point, when I realized I had hit rock bottom, trying to open up a business, and everyone was like, dude, I was so not equipped. I just said, you know what? Like, the 20s, I'm just going to work my tail off. And I think what a better way to kind of separate yourself as any entrepreneur who want to open up your own business is college. You guys think you have peer pressure now. Wait till you own your own business. Wait till you got everyone knocking on your door. And everyone wants something from you. And everyone wants to hang out with you. And everyone wants to do that. And that's not a private thing to say. I'm just telling you. You think your fraternity brothers are hard to say no to. Imagine when you think your well-being in business is involved. If you don't do this, then they're probably not going to eat your pizza. Well, just imagine the peer pressure at that level if you can't separate yourself now. And I'm not saying be a fuddy-duddy and sit in the dorm all the time. That's not what I'm saying. Go out on Thursday. Go out on Saturday. Just don't Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like, you know what I mean? Or being able to just say no. Because I promise you the hardest part about what I do now is no. I do the hardest part. I would give everyone a free pizza if I could. Everyone. And we did that. I'm going to show you in a minute now this past year how much we did, but I got to keep going. And then go back to your why. Keep working hard, but you've got to go back to your why. You've got to understand why you're still doing what you're doing. This resonated with me really, really hard this past week when I was going over this. The man who does more than he's paid for will soon be paid for more than he does. For me, I work my tail off, and I've given everyone a raise in my establishment except for myself. I wasn't a big fan of that when it kind of clicked with me. Like, I'm the hardest worker we got. But I've also got X amount of dollars of debt, and I got to pay back old daddy up there. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I've got to be able to pay this thing off. So in order for me to do that, like, I'm just going to work and not worry about it. I pay myself what a Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Donato's manager makes. You guys know what a manager at Papa John's, that's what I make. That's what I pay myself. I've not touched it. My dad can attest to it. I'm not giving myself a raise since we started. Because I want to pay him back. I want to get him out of the equation. I don't want that outstanding debt. And that's nothing against dad. I love him to death. But hey, my blood, sweat, and tears on this thing. You know, like, I'm ready to, let's go. You know, I'm ready to start seeing money. And so this resonated with me. Surround yourself with the right people. And I won't spend a lot of time with the rest of them because I know I'm running out of time. I want you to ask questions. But who's your aide? When you on the line on your deathbed, you only got room for 8 people around you. Who's your aide? Who's your aide? You're the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most. Who's your aide? Who's going to keep pushing you where you need to go? Who's going to, gosh, I don't know, feel your hurt when you're hurting? Who's going to stink and push you when you need a pushing? Who's going to, not allow you to play victim when things get hard? Because I'm telling you, in the business entrepreneurship world, like, when you're opening up your own business, like, I run to mom and dad all the time, crying my eyes out. Like, this ain't for me, this ain't for me. And my mom and dad are two totally different. My mom will call my bluff, and I'm just like, okay, you don't do okay, this is hard, I'm out. And it stops there. She'll be like, okay, honey, this isn't for everybody. And I immediately just, oh, come on. And I just done. Dad, he's like, dude, you can't shut up. Like, you could have done it. I did it, you can do it. You know what I mean? So it's just, I know which one I need when any given moment. But they are, so my biggest thing is surround yourself with the right people. Goodness gracious. And Dr. Carolyn Leaf, this is crazy, y'all. So, like, not only are you the average of the 5 people you eat as far as how you act, this is a true story. Dr. Carolyn Leaf is not only like a neuroscientist, like she's also a neurosurgeon. Like, she practices on the brain, she studies the brain, she is the brain. So you actually become, and you start looking like the 5 people that you hang out with the most. Like, have y'all seen my girlfriend? Yeah. Right. So it's like, you see what I'm doing, right? So it's one of those things to where it's like, you're gonna start, don't take it a step further. Obviously, everybody needs loving, so I'm just kidding. But that's true. Like, it's reality. Like, studies have shown. Like, you're gonna end up like the 5 people you hang out with the most. Pick them wisely. Volume. So anyways, my biggest thing, and this is where I'm at today. Like, this is literally today. This is where I'm at. Like, if I had to explain exactly where I am today in my business, this is it. I fell behind. Sales were going up. I saw labor going down. So I just said, you know what? I'm putting it on my back. So when your sales go up, your labor goes down. Sales fixes everything. You drive sales, you drive volume, it fixes everything. So for me, it was like I saw sales going up, so therefore my labor percentage went down. So I was like, okay, this is great. I'm going to pay Dad back this time, not this time. This is awesome. And by the way, I don't see a penny out of the business until Dad's paid off in full. So now you kind of understand it's like I got really greedy. So I saw sales going up, we're growing, and I'm just staying put exactly where I was, and I'm not hiring anybody. Expenses got this until we finally got so big, I had no help, and if somebody showed up, the consumer suffered, the customer suffered, and people weren't getting served adequately. And it's still going on today, like as we speak. Like right now, because I'm not in the store, I know for a fact I'm not staffed well enough to where people are getting served like they were when we were doing X amount of dollars. So for me, stay ahead of the curve, drive volume, whatever you're selling, whatever you're doing, drive it. Drive volume and stay ahead. Plan for the $100,000 weeks, not for the $10,000 weeks. And stay ahead so people are getting served adequately. And in my business, consistency is so key. They want to know they're getting their food. If you're getting it delivered, you're getting it 30 minutes. If you're dining in, you're getting it 50 minutes every single time. So what do? You've got staff for that. Every single time. Whether you're a packed house or there's 5 people in the restaurant. That's tough because labor is a huge deal in the restaurant industry. But you just got to do it. If you want to drive volume and you want to have a business making money and profitable in 3 to 5 years. So, how do you create volume to 198,361? Anybody? That's how much pizza I gave away this year. So how do you drive volume? Just give it away. Promise people will come back and give a free pizza. $200,000 worth of free food we gave away this year. I mean, was that like, did I like seeing that number? I don't know. I'm a pretty giving guy. Hospitality. But gosh, that's a lot of daggone pizza. Like, holy smokes, that's $200,000 worth of product. My bottom line is so like, oh goodness gracious. So I'm just saying, that's how you drive volume. Give it away. Give people in your store, trust your product, and treat them right. Oh shoot, yeah. So I was like, you get a pizza, right? So, yeah, I don't know. Like, dude, Eminem completely opened up the doors for us white rappers. So it was like MGK wouldn't even have a career if it was for him. So it was like I just didn't understand. I like both of them. I could see both sides at the point. So the teacher's like, I have no idea what's going on. I'm talking to my girl over here, but Eminem's my guy. Okay. Be available. It's my cell phone number, y'all. I've talked about my girlfriend enough. I think I can do this. But be available. If you're going to open up a business, be available for your employees, for your customers. 60% of my business, at one point, I had to fall back. 60% of my business one night, on a Friday night, came straight through my cell phone. You're like, yo, I need a pizza. All right, gotcha. Give me some. Hey, yo, I need a pizza here. Or, Monday, I got a pizza. Be available. Be available. Don't turn out. This is your business. This is your well-being. Be available to people and listen to them. Your employees need so much. Goodness gracious, the only reason I don't have as much turnover, and I have a lot of turnover, but the only reason I've kept some people I've had from the very beginning is because I'm taking them to go get their permit test this morning. It's those, you've got to be available for your employees and for your customers. And those are the people that are going to keep. You've got to be available. Because you want to know why? Because people don't follow vision, they follow availability. I can tell you all day long where I'm heading, but you know what? If I'm not available, then I'm not doing it. And Bob did this. Bob put this his number in his book to millions of people. All I'm doing is putting for a room full of 30 people. You know what I mean? We follow availability. I saw you guys yell about Bob. I was able to go. Oh yeah. So I spent a week with Bob in San Diego. And so, I shouldn't say a week. What was it, 4 days, 3 days? I don't know. But anyways, unbelievable person. Love to talk about it afterwards. And don't be so hard on yourself. You're not defined by your business, and that's my next slide. Find your worth outside of your business, because once your business starts controlling you, it's a slippery slope. Because you can't control. I can bake the right pizza every single time, put it through the oven, you can get it to them in 10 minutes, and I can do everything right, and they can still hate my pizza. I can't control that. Don't be so hard on yourself. There's some days where I'm like, gosh, we really jacked this up. Like, we had a horrible day. And then followed by another horrible day. I'm going, no. Like, because no one shows up for work. Everybody and their mama wants pizza. The people that want pizza, they don't care how many customers you had show up. And your customers don't care how many people showed up that day. And you're just you. I've had those days more often than not. My customers, all of them want to show up. My staff, none of them want to show up. Your staff has no idea how many people had show up that day. And the customer has no idea that you got 2 people back there trying to make 60 pizzas. And because and they don't care, y'all. They just come and get served. You know? And that falls back on me. But you got to be defined. You're so much bigger than your business. And you've got to define your work outside your business. If I'd have died for every time I said one of these things, I would have already paid that back. Like, I'd be like, yo, we've really jacked this up. But you want to know why I put that one in red? I'll do better next time. It's so simple. But y'all, if you've got a genuine, I'll do better next time, and you sincerely mean it, that one goes over better than anyone. The Papa John's ones is good. Because they laugh, but they still are ticked off because you just jacked up the pizza. But I'll do better next time. Like that one's like, listen, you guys, I have no excuse for what just happened. I'll make you new pizza. It's free. It's on us. But I promise you, I'll do better next time. If you decide to come back to my restaurant again, I promise you I'll do better. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the kitchen and fix it and make sure that this situation, whatever it is, doesn't happen again. Where it all went wrong. So that resonates with people. It's so simple, y'all, but it's so true. Just listen, I'll do better next time. And then love everybody. It's back to Bob's law, man. Love everybody, always. You know, I love his last book, but it's so simple. It's so simple. And it goes back to the customer service piece. It sounds so hokey and so like, like love everybody. Like, y'all, I'm telling you right now, if you treat people like $1 million, and it's got to be genuine, and I think that you can learn that. Trust me, I've got some 14-year-old workers now, first job, sweetest soul in the world. Dude, she comes across the most snobbiest. I had an older couple walk out of the restaurant the other night because she was taking her order. Like, got 2 minutes to screw this thing up. She butchered it terribly. She's the sweetest girl. But you just gotta learn to be genuine and smile and make people feel like home. My mom tells me all the time. What does the Ritz-Carlton do? The Ritz-Carlton does how they want those people even carrying your luggage. They want you to feel like you're at grandma's house. That's what we do. So when you walk into the door, we just want you to feel really cozy and warm and like you're at your grandma's house. Hey, how you doing? So I'm like yelling from across the restaurant over here. Like, you're feeling at home. And I tell people all the time too. It's like, I didn't want a restaurant. I wanted a home. I knew how much time I was going to have to spend there. So I wanted to feel like home. I've got my grandpa bussing tables every night. He's there hanging out and getting your refill. You want that guy to get your refill, come to Denali's. He will get your refill. It's a fast casual. He doesn't care. He's in there getting your Mountain Dew like that. You're jumping off walls by the time you leave. And he doesn't say that like he does. Like, you just say yes. Let me just give you guys a forewarning if you ever come to Denali's. Like, just say yes the first time. He will be back. You will get your drink refill, whether you like it or not. And he'll keep asking, and you won't have dinner until you let him get your refill. So just say yes the first time. That's how I would love to do it. So, anyways, y'all, that's pretty much my piece. I would love to answer questions. Didn't talk about marketing, finances, managing, because that comes with the game. I would love to answer questions on those things, but that's really, as far as I'm concerned, you better know those things before you walk into business, because you're going to be so blindsided one way or the other. So I don't know how much time we have left, but if anybody has questions, y'all, I'm an open book, obviously. Cody. Okay. Anybody? Cody, I know you got one, bro. What you got? Come on, man. Who took this picture? Or was it you?
No. That's a corporate one.
Cody does all of our social media. So Cody, they own a company called Hangout Creative, and they are unreal. Talk about a guy that loves his job. It's not just a job to him. As far as I'm concerned, I'll do business with that guy the rest of my life because he loves videos. I mean, he eats it up. Like, no pun intended. He will come into the restaurant